Pierre Poilievre seems to have the momentum in terms of large crowds, media attention. He has some ideas that sound similar to yours. How would you distinguish between yourself and Pierre Poilievre? And what would you say to someone who says, well, Pierre Poilievre has the momentum, he's a winner, he's got the, I'm going to go with him because he seems to be the head of the pack. What would you say to that prospective Poilievre voter to win him over to you?
So look, I think that Pierre is very intelligent and very articulate. I think he's done a very effective job in the opposition of holding the Justin Trudeau government to account on economic issues. Pierre and I disagree on some issues. I am against supply management. I don't think that we should centrally control how much dairy we should be able to produce or cap the ability or prevent a Canadian's ability to enter into a market and start doing business.
Soviet style.
It's central planning, Soviet style. And so when we talk about gatekeepers, there's no greater gatekeepers than supply management. I am prepared to end equalization by the end of my first term. I look forward to my friends commenting on this issue. I'm also not that...
Equalization amongst the provinces?
Correct, equalization payments. I also... I'm not sure how, and in fairness, Mr. Poilievre made his views on Bill 21 more clear the last time around. I think I'm going to distinguish myself by saying that I'm going to avail ourselves of whatever means necessary to defend the freedom of all Canadians, and that includes all Quebecers.
That's the Quebec bill against religious attire for the civil service.
Absolutely. Just like I don't think that anyone should make a choice between their ability to put food on the table and a medical procedure, I don't think that we should make anyone choose between their ability to put food on the table and their personal faith. To suggest that you can't be a Jewish observant high school math teacher in Quebec because you wear a kippah, or you can't be a police officer in Montreal because you're Sikh and you wear a turban, that's un-Canadian to me. And now we see the Legault government going further with Bill 96, where it will now compel doctors to communicate in French only under threat of seizing their medical records, or demand that companies with over 25 employees communicate and do business in French, with the ability to seize their cell phones and then put the onus on the company to justify why they have to speak in English. I think that's un-Canadian as well. And I think that the Conservative Party needs to demonstrate courage and stand up for all Canadians. I have a history of doing that for the last 2 years. I'm prepared to say what many Canadians or many politicians are afraid to say when it's politically risky. And that's what the voters will always be able to count with me.
Mm-hmm. One last question for you. We talked about some of the differences amongst the candidates, and there's been some real brawling, especially between Charest, Brown, and Poilievre, I think, on the truckers, things like that. I don't think it's possible for Charest or Brown to run as candidates if Poilievre wins. I think there's just too much, as you said, too much harsh words. I could be wrong. If you do not win the leadership, will you run as an MP if it's Pierre Poilievre or if it's Charest or if it's Brown as the leader? Could you be a candidate for either of those three leaders?
I don't know. And it's not necessarily dependent on the outcome of the race. First of all, we're in it to win it. We have a truly grassroots movement. We have the lowest average size donation of all campaigns. And we keep exceeding expectations. My application was approved. We raised the $300,000 plus the administrative fee required to enter the race. I think we've surprised some folks in the debate, in both debates. And I'm going to continue to look to exceed expectations and hopefully win this race. I don't want to speculate about the future. I think that it would be important for me to know that I can trust the leader of the party to do what's right by Canadians. I watched my former government, the Doug Ford government, make decisions that were not in the best interest of Ontarians. And especially when lives are on the line, that is something that I was unwilling to digest. And I I don't want to be in that position again, where I'm forced to potentially go along with something that my conscience would not permit me to do. At the same time, Ezra, this is a unique time in our nation's history. I'm genuinely concerned for the erosion of our democracy. I can't believe what's happening in our country, right? Between the Emergencies Act, the 20% of Canadians being treated like second-class citizens, seizing bank accounts without a court order. I just can't understand how any sensible politician that can potentially help this situation would be sitting on the sidelines. This is why I'm very committed to this race. I'm very committed to this country and to Canadians. I look forward to competing. I look forward to winning.
That was an excerpt from my daily TV-style show called The Ezra Levant Show. Each weekday, I do a monologue on the news of the day. Then I interview a fascinating guest. I read some fan mail or hate mail, depends on which I like more. And we end with a video of the day. You can get it all at rebelnewsplus.com.